Hello and welcome to the shop. I'm Jared and this is the Questionable Garage. And I have what some might call a car hoard. I prefer to call it a car collection. There's value in some of them at least. But there is a problem with an over-alarming number of them. They don't move under their own power very well. Like this car, I need to get over on the two-post lift. Like the Drift E30 that doesn't run because I trusted the wrong computer company. Bad tuner, still building, $10,000 worth of engine parts. This guy needs a clutch and a fuel pump. Supra that I really need to build, but don't want to mess it up. I need to push all of those. So with the sea of vehicles that don't move on their own very well, I did the smartest thing anyone could do. I got something to help move them. But it also doesn't run very well. Or at all. Or hasn't for probably 30 years. So we're going to get that running today, because that's what someone who doesn't have a project problem does. Sound logic here. It really is. Oy. All right, now I know probably half of you were like, why? And the other half of you are pretty excited because you know exactly what this thing is. Why would I not just get like a new cheap Murray lawnmower or something like that? Well, this is an International Harvester Cub Cadet. 1970, model 127, 12 horsepower. If I serial number decoded right, this was the 1319th one made in January of 1970. Not gonna say it's rare or special or anything, but you know, that's what it is. So why would taking something that was basically scrapped for parts, gonna get thrown away, and why do I want to make this run to be my pusher around the lot? So the plan is put a little pull bar, a little push bar, so I can move cars around with this, because I've been pushing cars in the gravel and I lose my footing and slam my face into things. I've had some bruises and cuts on the face from it. It is not fun. Let me tell you just a tiny bit about this little Cub Cadet here. It's heavy. They are built for working. It's a tractor. It's not a lawnmower. This is a lawn tractor. One, look at that rear end. That massive gear case. Two, do you see this? Hi, beautiful Pira. You enjoying your day at the shop? This right here, this isn't stamped steel. This is cast iron. These are heavy little things. They are unbelievable. And they came with 1,000,001 different accessories. If you know anything really about these things, you get sickle mowers, traditional mowers, you can get plows, you can get scoops, you can get, this has a 3-point hitch. Part of the deal of getting this tractor is I'm gonna pull that back off of it. The gentleman who saved this from the scrapyard, he's a collector of them. He's got a couple very sentimental ones, and he's trying to basically get all the parts and accessories that you could with them. So that is why I like International Harvesters. I have two. It's just awesome. All I've done is we fired up his International service truck and I put this in the back of Aging Wheels Silverado EV, and we brought it over here and then I set it down. So I don't really know much about this. My plan is to get it running because I really have to push and move a lot of things around, and it's tricky solo. Relying on something that's not run for 30 plus years is the smart thing to do. Dude, if you're lurking back there, put your phone on silent or use today's sponsor, Incognito, so that he gets fewer spam calls. You guys should too. That's right, today's episode is brought to you by Incognito. Now, I am sure you guys have probably noticed a slight uptick in the amount of spam calls, junk mail showing up to your house. And that's because there are more and more businesses out there that make their money by selling your data. Now, when you're online, you are probably protecting yourself with a VPN. That is not Incognito. A VPN protects what you're doing Incogni protects your data. What these data collection companies are doing are creating digital profiles with all of your information. Your name, your addresses, your phone numbers, your emails, what you're doing on social media, sometimes what you're browsing, and more. They collect all of it together and then sell it to anyone who's willing to give them money. If you're lucky, it's just people who want to spam you to sell you more stuff. You get those annoying phone calls, you get tons of emails, and as much as those filters are working, it's still a nuisance. Now, it's just not the obnoxious spammers. You've got people out there using your data for identity theft, to go ahead and create false profiles to get loans that are all linked to you. Now, what Incogni does, utilizing the local laws, they reach out to all of these data brokers and say, hey, they don't want their information there anymore, forcing them to remove it. Just in my initial sign up, they identified 120 data brokers out there and immediately started working on my behalf. In just the first day, they already had my information pulled from 54 different data brokers. That equates to about a 50-hour savings of going back and forth. 50 hours I didn't have to spend. Incogni helps keep your data yours and off of those websites. In a world where everything's going online and nothing is personal anymore, you can at least take your personal data back with Incogni. And you're going to save 60% off an annual plan when you head on over to incogni.com/garage and use code GARAGE. You will save 60% off an annual plan. Again, I get it, the world is changing, everything's online, but your personal data shouldn't be free. Protect it, and thanks to Incogni, you can. Link in the description. Save 60% off an annual plan using code GARAGE. All right, so under our hood, we got ourselves, again, a coil, 12 horsepower, little gas tank. Our battery would live here. We see the start power solenoid or DC indicator. Wires are fairly good shape, assuming, yeah, it'll be ground and power, unless this is ground switched. I need to look, because the last thing we want to do is put power on the ground. This here is our voltage regulator. Needs to be grounded. The ground wire is broken. That's easy enough to refix and get remounted. You want to do everything you can to preserve and keep your original one. The new ones just don't seem to quite cut it the same. It is in a little bit rough shape. Would have lived kind of like that. I could maybe print just some new crossbars so we can preserve this and keep it working. But these have points much like a distributor inside them. Good oil level, doesn't smell awful. If you look on this side, this thing kind of looks a little bit odd. This is a starter slash generator. It's not a gear driven starter. It runs via the same charging belt, has power takeoffs in the front, and it has a shaft takeoff in the rear with this little locking coupler. So that turns over pretty easy. Is that tight from compression or tight from rust? Kind of hard to tell. Oh no, okay. Maybe that was compression. What do you think, Magni? Okay, I'm hearing what sounds like little pops out of here. But it spins. That's problem one. Problem two will be the state of our carburetor. Coil's probably okay, but we also are gonna have to get to our points under there and see how those are. Oh, do we have a key? Look at this fancy little dashboard. Choke, charge, I guess lift if you have it, front or reverse, throttle, and ooh, we do have a key on. Well, that's handy. This is also not bolted down, but maybe we'll remove. Oh, the spare coil is a little alarming. What do you think? I guess let me grab the bore scope. Let's see what this looks like. All right. You know that bad gas smell? I'm not talking too much 1 a.m. Taco Bell. I don't have my memory card in it, so we're gonna show you. It doesn't look beautiful in there, but that is, we can 100% save that. So that's gonna get unbolted and cleaned up. Getting spark is also gonna be a very important thing. Spark, fuel, compression, squish, bang, boom. I mean, the $100 Murray's off of Marketplace maybe would have made a lot of sense. But we're shoving stuff around. We gotta look cool, right, Maggie? He's very interested in what we're doing today. Not awful, not great. So it feels like maybe just cables are sticky, because that is moving independent of the cable. Kind of weird to have a lawnmower with a full-sized coil on it going to just traditional points. We're gonna blow the engine off so we can pull that plug, bring you down, we'll file points, and then I'll figure out the best way to try to get some power. All right, we got our screwdriver, we got some files, pop the spark plug out. Yeah, these things, so there's lawnmower tractor pulls, and these are extraordinarily popular for them because of how beefy that rear end is. The slightly bigger than Cub Cadet versions have the exact same rear end, so they're designed for way more workload. Huh. I'm not familiar with this coil design, but I think it's basically like flathead, Ford-ish. What I can see is not moving, but there's definitely compression happening. Spark plug needs a little clean, but doesn't look bad. What is going on in there? Like, I can... trying to make some type of pressure, and it's popping. What you got, buddy? Don't want to get your feet. Can we see anything useful? There's the valve moving up and down. Oh yeah, there's our piston. Okay, so it's like flathead Fordish. And from what I can see over there, it doesn't look too bad. We've got all our valves doing what they're supposed to. That points to good chance of making this potentially fire again. Now, whether the hydrostat works and we can get cables moving, that's a different story. Once we get spark going, we'll put a little gas in there. Also, I'm realizing our muffler has a giant hole in it pointed directly back at the air cooling part, so it's gonna be loud to start with. We'll eventually fix that. Probably not. Alrighty, so I put you right where, whoop. I was gonna say, I put you right where I need to be working. That was smart of me. So just like an old distributor, he's got points hiding back here, and just like anytime you're reviving an old car, you gotta clean them up. In this case, we gotta, you know, kill the bugs. Oh yeah, those babies are very mossy. Make sure they're going in and out. See them right here. Closed, okay. So they are actuating. Definitely need to air them out real quick. Dogs, I'm sorry. I know you don't like the air gun. So if you come in and look, you see how white and fuzzy that is. That is not going to conduct electricity at all. Not at all. So if you ever hear in a revival video someone talking about filing points, you see how absolutely fuzzy and just awful that is. That's what we're talking about. Getting that clean and back to bare metal. So nail files, a little piece of sandpaper, that can work pretty good too. These are actual terminal cleaners with slight bits of diamond grit. Way overkill for the job, but I don't have any nail files. Now you don't want to be too aggressive. If you take too much off, you'll end up having to reset your points, which isn't a problem. It's just an extra step you'll have to take. I guess I could go buy one. All right, how's that looking? Almost there. A little bit more filing. What are your guys' go-to for points cleaning? Nail files from the wife's beauty drawer. You have particular grit sandpaper you really like. All right, so let's slide on in there. So that outside's still fuzzy, but if you look where the contact needs to happen, nice and clean. So we should get some sparkles now.
Still need to figure out, you know, obviously fuel. We'll just take that off. I doubt this is going to work right off the rip. So we'll force feed it a little bit, but I'm going to try to come up with a battery solution, get this grounded. Go to your room, you're grounded, and just see if the key does it. What do you think, Pear? You're my supervisor today. Magni inspected and said to give up on it, but you seem to still have hope.
Well, since we got the pair of pups, it's not easy to run to the parts store and get a battery, so I grabbed a bad die-hard that is actually kind of holding voltage, made some very sketchy, questionable leads to vice grips because I don't have any battery terminals right now, to the jump box. Maybe something will happen. Supercharge. Key on. Charger off. It's making noises. It's like it's trying. Like, listen. I don't believe this is ground switched. Do I have it backwards? You would think red, you know. Come on, click, do it. Well, it can't be backwards because I have positive where I'm supposed to have positive. I'm really wondering if this is bad, which if that's the case, it's gonna be a little problematic. Oh. Oh, hey, there we go. It's not happy, but it's starting. It has a bad spot. You know, there's one or two spots of your coil that are bad. Uh-oh. Now it's not making any more noises. I have a feeling, though, we might be learning how to investigate that. All right, don't judge me. I'm all out of my 2-stroke fuel. I did drop a couple drops of marbles down in the hole, and I'm gonna use some parts cleaner because it's super flammable. It starts Earl really good when it's freezing cold. Also, DQG10, save you some money, well worth, get you some good stuff. So, come on. Come on. I mean, she's got compression. Come on. I just need a little more cranking RPM, please. You can do it. A little bit. Just give me a little noise. That way I know it's worth, like, redoing all the grounds and stuff. Come on. Come on. All right, well, I'm gonna make up some battery cables. All right, sketchiness, but we're making some progress. Ground is a little squidgy. I may have to run a new ground, figure out everywhere that ties in, get that cleaned up a little bit better. I still think there may be some crud in here, but that gets going. Look at that. That is some healthy spark. We're hitting a bad spot again, which means we're pulling starter generator apart to clean it. Hopefully. I've never done one. But that's what's stopping us. We know we're sparking, we got compression, but we need that working. Given the amount of rust that just came out, I feel like we may be able to break this all apart and clean it. I like the electrical tape to prevent conductivity. Okay, let's pull that end. Oh my goodness, dog. You literally just destroyed everything over here. Camera is on the ground. Paperwork on the ground. Memory cards everywhere. Oh yeah, see, it wasn't that tight. It's just all about the right pull. I'm loosening by hand here. There we go. So I'm willing to bet for this to want to slide off, we're gonna have to get that keyway out. Come on, how are you not working? You've been so good about everything else. Normally I can just get right under it and I tap. Just
need half of you to come apart for me. Alright, so it is. It's just a bearing plate being extra sticky, which I am not at all surprised, given the state of what I can see. And now, given the state of what you can see. Oh yeah, we've lost one contact. Oh, that goes into my brush. That would explain why she quit. There's a lot of rust in there, and then that brush let go. The trick is, can I find someone kind of sort of close that has brushes for this old girl? Or did I screw up and break it? Nope, that piece is missing. Sweet, I didn't screw it up. That's a lot of rust. That's part of your brush, so the way these work is the electrical current comes through and goes into your motor windings. And if you look, this is this one's also a little special because it also generates power, which is kind of cool. So none of these windings initially look completely cooked, but you can definitely tell this was our dead spot, which was full of rust. The other thing you need to be careful when you clean all of these epoxy coated parts, you do not want to hit. We can't take a ton of material off. Same thing in here. Get all this rust out. Yeah, it was full of water. It's a cool little piece of kit. I need to find a part so this works. Whoops. I mean, I guess I could try re-epoxying it. I'm telling you, it almost does look like it's just meant to glue in. Does it really just shove it? Okay, no epoxy needed. It just kind of shoves in there. I might add some glue on the outside for good measure once the rust is cleaned up. But we got to fix our spring. We might have this thing back in business. I love when you're potentially able to get into something and save it without like buying stuff. Hopefully you guys see that and kind of get motivated, be like, hey, maybe there's one or two more things I can get a hold of and try to save. Oh, it pulls up. Okay. I want to put a little hook in this. Try to keep it from pulling out, maybe? I'm not going to go too crazy with resetting the lead just yet. Ow. 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 Okay. All right, so if you gently move, see how much that spring tip sticks out. If you compare it to this side, that had rusted and broken off. So we lost that. Now we're back in business there. So let me go get some wire brushes. Let's get to cleaning.
Well, we're back installed. Please work. Well, it works. We're turning over. I would have liked a little faster, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. It's just clean and it's working with, I don't think, any dead spots. Let's go to the other side and put the no juice in it. See if it turns into go juice. Here is very much enjoying that stick she stole from it. You walked up and picked that out all by yourself, didn't you? Yeah. Here, my hands are too dirty. I'm sorry.
I'll give you a kiss instead. Oh, good girl. Maggie, you want a kiss too? Okay, good boy.
All right, so we do a little no, and oh, that's it trying to run. Oh, come on.
I don't know know if it wants more or less. That's okay. It's alive. It is throwing stuff everywhere. I have two very alert and worried Pyrenees. But you know what that means? We buy the battery for it, and we take the carburetor and fuel tank off now and clean them up. There's still the whole rear end hydrostat, cables to free up, PTOs to make work, cleaning it, making the voltage regulator actually mount. I don't know if it actually charges yet or not. Doesn't matter. It runs. How awesome is that? Good old International Harvester. I hope maybe a couple of you guys are maybe a little inspired by this. And really what I mean there, I get it. Not everyone has room or budgets to go save the big old iron. You know, cars can be very expensive. Heck, even just a battery for a car, you're $200 in. But these small engines, I'm $0 so far. I had battery cable laying around, stuff like that. So even if you want to add a little bit into the budget for those parts, if you want to get into trying to save some stuff, like look at some small engine things to start. Heck, the new stuff is like almost full-blown throwaway. People don't put any effort, and they give them away. I saw a posting where someone was giving away, just trying to get rid of them, I think like 10 modern lawnmowers. Now, you're probably not going to get all 10 of those things working, but you could probably, between them, get some useful parts and get a couple of them working. And then you sell those couple that you got working. Then you fund your next round of ridiculousness. A little bit of water in there at some point, but very cleanable. I just kind of started moving this thing around and barely touched the bowl, and the blue gunk is coming out of it. So I kind of, even before we get to the table, oh, it's solid. Blue ooze everywhere. Chunks are falling out. Ooh, that is, I don't think fuel is getting up the middle of that seat. The smell is one for the ages too, I'll tell you what. I'm almost wondering, we just run this in the ultrasonic before we do anything. Run it through there, and then we go ahead and take it apart once it's had a chance to get one round of clean. You know how sometimes, doesn't matter how good your cleaner is, you just know the smell is coming home with you? Well, as you can see, carburetor's on and batteries in. We made a new throttle cable. If you ever need a cable, don't panic. There's a Dorman part number you can get at O'Reilly's for like $7. Small engine, it's the Dorman 55196. And of course we got our super start. We got our choke cable working. We'll have to monitor, make sure that'll close. Half throttle, maybe? Oh, come on. Let's choke. this house is very strong. That noise is the PTO clutch on the front.
Runs and drives. It's surprisingly quick. You kick it into high gear and it doesn't have suspension. Your ass is the suspension, and it's rough. I got it back together and ready to work. We haven't unveiled it on camera yet, but we'll do that here in 1 second. But I figured a really good test. Broken E30, computer is out of it. Again, trusted the wrong company. Drift cars with a lot of steering angle and locked rear ends. Don't push really good. So I figured we'll bring our little Cub Cadet and see how it pushes, right? There's your reveal. Look at this. We do need to talk about this rear tin. That involved a trip to the junkyard. I guess insert that footage real quick, Dwayne. It's out of context, but why do I have new rear sheet metal? The hood's a little bit rougher than I hoped, but not too bad. I think it's workable. Less rusty, but look at those tins. Almost tempting to take the rear end, but then I found someone who's been taking parts off of it. So we'll steal what we can get. So now that you know why that sheet metal's there, and no, we did not use that hood. We just painted the original hood, and I think that looks
absolutely amazing. I also realized our the horizontal was not a good call. So we've got it vertical with a reinforcement. It's still on the original attachment, so we can quick remove that if we need to. We got a camera gear running. So what'll be nice is sitting on this and not like falling off when I hit the gas. Oh, little tractor. Get the safety off of our, there we go. Ooh, I might eventually track a seat down for it. It's hot. Okay, reverse. Look at this little thing go. I also have to give you guys a story time inside here in a second. Our wives are way smarter than we are most of the time. Now, this is definitely proof of that. Creep on up. I got one wheel on gravel. Oh my goodness. Not really working. I don't know if you guys noticed that. It lifted the rear end of the car when it wasn't moving. I feel like this is the best addition to the shop. What a monster this is. What a little monster this tractor is. Like, it was nothing for it. I had to get the right amount of throttle and hydrostat going, and it just shoved it. You know when you think something's probably going to work, but you're not 100%, but then it works about 100 times better than you were expecting? That's this little donkey here. If you didn't notice, we pushed it at steering lock, no problem. Actually, even before it started moving, it lifted the rear of the car off. A little 12-horse Kohler has so much get up and go with that hydrostat, it was picking the car up. That's incredible. And then if you didn't also then notice on the footage of us kind of fine parking it where I wanted it, a little bit further out of the gravel, I just idle it down and walk alongside this thing and then can go to the car and steer. I am beyond excited because, you know, when you have a lot of questionable projects and you have to move them around, it's really easy to get hurt. And suddenly I've matured in that I actually put effort into not getting hurt. How can I do something that makes it slightly less likely to destroy my back? It literally took a vehicle that's been sitting, a little tractor that's been sitting over 30 years, 40 years. It's been a long time. An old tire off a Hellcat, some lumber, and we now have ourselves an amazing little push vehicle. Like, and it looks really cool. I figured I'd sit down for this part of the video. I hope this maybe inspired you guys a little bit. I know the revivals look like a ton of fun, but buying a couple $1,000 car, $1,000 car, all of your parts are hundreds and hundreds of dollars to try to get it running. They take up a lot of space. I was able to pick this up. All I had to do was take one part off of it, which we didn't need, to give back to my friend who saved it from the scrapyard. It was destined to go away forever and be just lost to history. So very low cost of entry. The biggest part of the parts list was that Super Start from O'Reilly. We got their Long and Garden. I went ahead and upsized it to 350 cold cranking amps just to make sure
we had everything we needed. And then it was just time. We had to take apart the starter generator, clean that up, and then just lots of little cleaning and freeing, filing the points like you would in a normal vehicle. I've got probably the best tool in the shop now to move the projects around, to be safe, get things where they need to be. And it's cool. It's a 1970 International Harvester Cub Cadet. Just the modern lawnmowers aren't built to last. Just kind of cool. But story time. One night I came home after working on the Cub a little bit, and my wife was like, man, that's got to take you back a little bit. It's got to be fun working on it. Some good memories. My brain doesn't work that way. That's why my wife is a lot smarter than me. My brain doesn't make those connections. I remember a lot of stuff. I can figure things out, but emotional things are weird sometimes. Go way back to when I was a wee, 6-foot lad, 10 years old. Family didn't have a lot of money, but I mowed lawns. When I wanted something extra, we had to go out and earn money for it. And during the neighborhood big trash day, I would go out and bring home everything with an engine. Every push mower, every riding mower, everything that had an engine. And I would tinker with it and I would get it working, or I would combine 4 different things. So I would have equipment to then go and mow lawns with. So deep down inside, this was a whole lot of fun. It reminded me of, as a kid, working hard, just cobbling something together. Now, this was easier than some of the mowers we dealt with, but it was a cool, fun little refresher, and it built a tool that is going to be incredibly useful in the shop. Also, downside to this position, talking to you, the sun is literally in my eyes. I'm pretty sure you can tell by the glow, the fact my face is probably a little bit redder and one eye is mostly closed. It's bright, but that's going to do it. We got ourselves a running Cub Cadet that's going to help move cars around. We kept stuff alive, and that's a whole lot of fun. So I'm Jared, reminding you guys to always make questionable choices, and don't lift with your back, push with your knees.